Well, good morning. 4:44. Been a couple of days since I sat in front of this camera at that time in the morning. Although think I was here actually yesterday. No, I wasn't actually here yesterday morning at this time. Anyway, today's a new day. And yesterday, of course, we had the video that I shot the day before with Aristos. And a lot of people liked that, and we will be doing that again, just for your information. I hope to, at least every week or 10 days, shoot a video with Aristo, and I also hope to be shooting more videos with other people in the future. So that might be a scenario that will increase as we continue to move through this matrix and this awakening of consciousness. The title for today is People Really Want Change We Can Verify. Now, I wrote that title yesterday, but I wrote the blurb this morning after meditation. And I wrote, the past couple days for me have been opportunities to observe a part of me that is very aware of human limitations being imposed, apparently by outside forces. It is intense shadow work as I feel the anguish of knowing that real freedom exists, yet seeing that part of me trapped in the matrix of human experience. Facebook's 5,000 friend limit is a very superficial illustration of this. The legal ramifications of living in an insane world where the authorities have no respect for human freedom to be, do, and follow our hearts seems frightening and very frightening indeed. Feeling insecure is overwhelming to that part of me and to that part of the human collective consciousness. It is the experienced tension between the old and new paradigm. Humanity can no longer feel content in its own ignorance, and individually we are being offered the awareness of observing the terror of the situation. Many try to deny or escape these feelings. I don't like them myself, but I know I have to face the monster within me that feels extremely frightened. Am I willing to love that part of me? Yes, indeed. And Facebook, though it is a superficial limitation of saying you're only allowed to have 5,000 friends and no more, I was overwhelmed yesterday by the number of people when I posted, again, a thing about my fan page. I put in over 30, since yesterday morning, I have put in over 30 new friends, and I am below 500 for the first, 5,000 rather, for the first time, because I don't have anybody else to put in. I've put in all of the new people, over 30 new people, because that many people have actually dropped off. And I thought to myself as I drove to the meeting last night, you know, the people that are dropping off are the people that I really wish wouldn't drop off, because they're the ones that actually watch my videos and actually care. I would like the people to drop off that haven't paid attention to my Facebook wall in more than a year, that could care less what I'm doing or not doing, and what I'm posting or not posting, or what anybody else is saying or not saying. And I'd like to be able to eliminate somehow the people that are just there spying on me for some less than noble purpose. But I don't have that information, and so the people that make room for other people are people that are actually my friends, and the people that I would like most to keep on Facebook. It's the irony of the whole artificial situation that we're in, not just with Facebook, but in the freaking world that we live in. Whereas David Icke said last night, we watched the first of 4 DVDs of his 10-hour lecture at Wembley Stadium. Is it Wembley Stadium? Yeah, I think so. Or what is it? It's that big stadium in England anyway. That he actually played at as a soccer player when he was 15 years old and got beat 3-0. But anyway, um, David said that about fear. He's accused of being a fear monger, but he pointed out that truth is what liberates us. Knowing our situation is what liberates us. And while it may feel fearful, ignorance is really the fearful thing. And what happens in the world when we are in this pressure cooker right now, I'm in it, we're all in it, and we're feeling it. It was, of course, the uh, solar eclipse that happened yesterday, and a lot of people were feeling pressure. But as I read comments from people and as I feel my own feelings of tapping in to not just the collective consciousness, but my own consciousness, facing the part of me that used to be content and used to feel that police and the government was actually there to do a good service for people. But I've come to the place where I realize the government is totally insane. And that's what David was saying in the first part of his video last night that lasted a little over 2.5 hours. He was saying that the world is run by crazy people. John Lennon said it. Comedians have said it. Lots of people have said it. We realize that the people that are in charge in our world on this planet are crazy. They're insane. They're nuts. They're psychopaths. They're sociopaths. Now, anybody that doesn't feel afraid to see all of the weapons and all of the injustices and all of the criminality, even if we don't think it's the government, the world's insane. We've got to look at it and say, hey, folks, this is crazy. We have enough food to feed the whole world, and yet people are starving to death every day. We have enough technology and knowledge so that people wouldn't have to be sick. There are cures for every known disease, but somebody's actually creating more disease on purpose. Tell me, how is that sane? How is it sane that we chase pieces of paper that are basically valueless, but yet we place great value on them and think that that's wealth? I mean, the whole freaking world is nuts, and we're living in it. And I'm living in it. And there's a part of me that's terrified living in it. It's terrified that somebody's going to hurt me. Somebody's going to take from me that which I need and consider my own to use and as part of my mission on this planet. And I feel the terror. And others feel the terror of having bodies that don't do what they want them to do, and of feeling pain when they'd rather feel alive and vibrant and healthy, and people feeling absolutely afraid that they're not going to be able to keep feeding themselves or keep living under a safe shelter, or they're not going to have a job. And all of these artificial worries. I mean, I spent time with my grandkids and my daughter and her husband yesterday afternoon for a couple of hours. And my grandson, who's 5, was an absolute terror. And my 8-year-old granddaughter was It was her birthday, and my goodness, she just wanted to cuddle with me, and my grandson just wanted to beat me up because we play rough. And I've got to be on guard constantly or I get hurt because he's big enough and strong enough to hurt me. And if I don't watch what he's doing, he'll get me, and he did yesterday. And my oldest granddaughter, well, she gets lost in the computer. She's 10, and she just gets lost in the computer. But I got to spend time with my family, and it was good. It was a good break from where I had been because it took my attention off of the shadow work that I've been doing of feeling the energy of my own fear. That's in me, that's part of me, that responds to the world and feels the terror of being human on this planet at this time when there is so much craziness, so much violence, so much injustice, so much of everything that I know better that we don't have to have, and yet we still have it. And I get frustrated. People want change we can verify. Yeah, we do. People voted for Obama who promised change. Well, you can keep the change that he's brought so far because he's only made it worse. He has not improved a single thing on this planet unless that single thing is more people now are awake than were awake before. But still, most of the world sleeps. And those of us that are awake realize, hey, we're being limited. We know we're free. But the world doesn't recognize our freedom. The authorities don't recognize our freedom, and they continue to behave and act as if nothing has changed, even though the OPPT foreclosed on the corporations and the banks. They continue to operate as if that didn't happen. The courts continue to perform their unjust actions against people, despite the fact that they have been foreclosed upon. The whole world has been foreclosed upon. The old matrix has been foreclosed upon, but it continues just as if it didn't happen. And we want change that we can see, that we can perceive, that we can experience. And part of the frustration is, do I have to die? Do I have to give up my life to experience freedom? Or can I experience freedom in a physical world where I have a body and other souls have bodies expressing, and that we can express love instead of terror? That we can move away from this fearful construct that lives within each of us, that personality that is terrorized or creates the terror and sabotages everything that we really want. We really want peace, but we really get the opposite. Are we able to create a world where this insanity comes to an end? Sometimes, when I'm in the right frame of mind, when I'm centered, and when I feel connected to my higher self, my infinite being, of course, I know we're changing it. We're changing it. But the last couple days, I've been able to feel what it's like from the part of me that still isn't secure, that still doesn't feel safe on this planet, that still doesn't feel safe in my body, that still doesn't feel that it's okay to receive good while I'm alive as a human being, that somehow I have to keep creating suffering, that suffering is the only way I'm going to learn, the only way I'm going to grow, the only way that I'm going to get out of this is to fight for everything that I can, to fight for my freedom, to fight for my rights. And where is that enemy? Well, yes, it's outside of me. Yes, it's the system. Yes, it's the matrix. But there's a part of inside of me that corresponds to that part of me. And that's the part of me that's terrified, because to it, the threat is real. To it, the insanity is the way it is. And it hurts like hell to feel that. But I've been forced, not really forced. I mean, I could have chosen to get drunk and try to obliviate the feeling of pain and turn away from it. I could have gone into some denial exercise of positive mental attitude and turned away from it, but I didn't choose to do that. And some of the people that had conversations with me over the past couple of days know that I was in that place. Know that I was feeling that fear, that I was feeling that angst, and that I was feeling the terror of this world in me, as part of me, as part of my human experience. And a lot of us are in that place. A lot of us are right there. And we want change that we can finally see. We want to see the system actually collapsing, not just cracks in the edifice, but an actual collapse where the banks stop taking people's homes unlawfully, where the police actually start standing up for the values in the United States anyway of the oath of office that they took, where the military actually starts standing by its oath and not committing crimes against humanity, not participating in the unlawful spraying of chemicals into our atmosphere and the bombing of civilians and others around the world with drones, even ordering all that. I mean, that the insanity has to stop, and we're tired of it. Aren't you? Aren't you tired of this? Don't you want real change? Don't you want to see a world that finally starts working for everybody, and where a sense of sanity is returned to leadership to guide us from where we have been to a new world? I've wanted to be part of that new world, that kingdom of heaven on earth, for a long time. And I'm going to be. I am part of that. But sometimes, as in the past couple of days for me, we still feel the tension and the anxiety and the terror of the old world that's dying. Thank God, let it die quickly. Please, we want change we can verify. Thank you once again for listening, and may you have a beautiful day. Namaste.